Welcome to this video. I decided it was well overdue time for me to do an unhaul of all the books that I have in my flat. And so I thought I'd film it for, why not? So I thought I'd bring you along for this unhaul. Behind the scenes spoiler, I'm filming this like a week after I did the actual unhaul because I forgot to do an intro. But I've got 3 shelves in the hallway, which I keep all of the books I've read on. So I'm going to go through that, see if there's anything that I want to get rid of from there. And then I've got my shelf in here, which has my TBR on. So I'm going to go through that and try and cull my TBR down a bit. And then I'm also going to go through my Kindle. I don't know how much of the Kindle stuff I'll film, because that's probably not as interesting. But I'm also going to take this as an opportunity to get some shit that's been clogging up that for ages. Back when I used to be a bit more trigger happy with the 99p deals. So at the moment my TBR is probably around 250. So we're gonna see what we can get that down to by the end of this video, so stick around. Okay, we're gonna do a book unhaul. Right, I think first of all I'm gonna get rid of this one. Is this one, Rivers of London. I didn't really like this book. It's been years and years since I read it. I just remember a bit of being quite confused with what was happening. Also, because these are my bookshelves in my hallway, and I've got a big window just facing, and in the morning the sun always shines through that window, and I'd never had like a blind or anything there before, so I feel like the sun has really bleached the spines of some of the, especially some of the oldest ones on here. And that's definitely happened with this, because like if you look at the red of the cover, and like it's so different. Unhaul number 1. Should I think I might get rid of these as well. The Shadow and Bone trilogy. Again, I've read these. I feel like fine. They were fine. I'm not sure I could necessarily tell you what happened in them, other than the first one probably. So I think I'm gonna get rid of these, and that's gonna free up quite a lot of space. Mainly I just want to free up a bit of space for new books, because this is all my, I've read every single book on these shelves, and it's kind of getting full. There's like a bit of space that I can make, because I've got some that are face out that I could turn in, but my plan is to just try and get rid of some that I don't love and are just taking up space. This is another one that I read years and years and years ago, and if I'm being honest, I probably couldn't tell you what it was about, but then I do enjoy a book about women who don't have their lives together and are trying to get it together. I'm gonna hold on to it. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. I feel like I'm like not really wanting to hold on to a lot of YA stuff. Like I don't really read much YA these days. Yeah, I feel good about that. I mean, technically that should be on the hardback shelf. Okay, new angle unlocked. We're gonna carry on. The Kiss Quotient. Bought it because it had like mathsy equations on the front. Read it, thought it was good. Maybe I gave it like a 4 or 3.5. I did read the second, I can't remember what it's called, the second in the series. Thought it was okay. Again, like kind of forgettable, like can't even remember what it's called. And then I did have the Bride Test, because I'm sure that was the third one, on my Kindle, and just ended up deleting because I was like, oh, I didn't love the first 2 enough to continue. I think I'm gonna let this one go. I feel like newer books that I've read, I'm like more reluctant to unhaul, because they're still fresh, even if I didn't love them as much. Like for example, this one I read in April. I read this while I was in New York, so it's got like sentimental value, and like was loving it like up until about halfway, 2/3, and then it just took a bit of a dive for me. But so even though I only gave it like a 3.5, I'm gonna keep hold of it for now, because it's just reminds me of my trip. Oh, hi girlie, you come to see what's going on? Oh. And say hi. Say hi, Mia. This one might be a controversial one. This was so hyped, and I thought it was just okay. I feel like cozy fantasy isn't really my thing. I'm like learning in books. So this is gonna go. So these are the books I'm keeping. I've got Bright Young Women face out at the moment because this is my first book of 2025 and it was just so good. But yeah, everything else on here is staying for now, I think. This is tough. See, we've got this book which I read this when I still lived with my parents, which was like more than 6 years ago now, and I struggled through this book. I just found it so slow and I feel like it's a me problem because everybody raves about this and raves about Madeline Miller, and I do have the Song of Achilles on my TBR, and I've just been a bit scared to read it because that one feels more hyped than Cersei. I'm gonna keep this, even though I didn't like it. I feel like maybe it was a me problem, and I'm gonna read the Song of Achilles and then let my thoughts on that book decide this book's fate. Okay, firstly, I love this book. I love this whole series. Oh, this book smells good. This book really takes me back to uni. I read it, loved it so much. I was big into dystopian books. Loved them all, but I read them on my Kindle, and so when I read Divergent, I obviously bought a copy just to have, but I never ended up buying copies of 2 and 3, so I've only got this one physically. It's never been read. Like, this mine's like perfect. Like I said, I never read this edition, and I think it's like a weird size, which maybe that's the reason why I didn't get the others, because they wouldn't have matched. Like, if I put it next to a normal book, can you see? It's like, I think I'm gonna let it go. Okay, next one. Now, this is no hate to this book because I really enjoyed this book. It's a YA. If I read this when I was at the age that the main character is, that would have probably been a game changer. Somebody else could probably get much more benefit out of this than it will sitting on my shelf. I think I might get rid of this one. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. You may help her. What should we get rid of next? Okay, I think I might get rid of this. This is What Writers Read, which is like an anthology of like authors' favourite books, and it's edited by Pandora Sykes. And I read it and it was fine, but I think it's probably served its purpose on my bookshelf, so I'm gonna let this one go. I think I'm gonna let this one go. Okay, this one is probably a contender for going. I bought this and read this and liked it. It was like solid 4. It's the first in a series. It's the Harbinger series by Jeff Wheeler. It's one of these ugly printed by Amazon ones. One of the really heavy books. It's got that like kind of waxy feel to the cover. It's on Kindle Unlimited. If I had the urge to read it again, I could just read it there. And then I think that's it, because the last 2 books we have are these 2, and I think I'm going to keep these. Again, another YA that I really... I'm not going to keep this, actually. I think I'm going to get rid of this. That was a surprise, but... Okay, I was just reshuffling some things on the shelves, and I think I'm also going to get rid of this book, All the Beautiful Strangers, by Elizabeth Clayforth. It's another YA. It's kind of like a YA mystery thriller about a girl who goes to boarding school. I feel like it's not really doing much for me on my shelf, so I'm gonna give this to a better home. I've just been like shuffling all the books along. We've got like 3 on this shelf that don't fit scooched up, so I'm wondering if I can get rid of 3 more to make room. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna get rid of this one. This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. Loved both of these. I read this one first, actually, but I thought these were really good, really funny reads about what it's like to be a doctor in the NHS. But I feel like I don't really see the point in keeping Christmas books, and I think they take up valuable space. I think this one can go. I think I'm going to get rid of this one as well, by Matt Haig. Probably wouldn't reread it. Like, I'm glad I read it, but I don't feel the need to keep hold of it. I think I'm going to get rid of his other one, Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. Even though I love this cover. I don't know why, something about the swirly line and the planet, and look at that. Underneath, that naked hardcover. Stunning. Rainbow. I don't think it's serving a purpose on my bookshelf. So I'm going to let both of these go to a better home. I promise I'm not just getting rid of like awkwardly shaped books. I bought this edition of Jane Eyre in a charity shop. I've not read this edition. I read Jane Eyre back when I was in school. I really enjoyed it, to be fair. And I had this like really nice like bright pink and blue copy of it, which has obviously just got lost. So I was like, oh, I'll buy a copy of it. But it's one of these, like, again, it's a short version. Look how small that text is. Like, I probably would like to reread this at some point, but I don't think I'd like to reread it with a font this small. So I think I'm gonna let go, and maybe this is something that I get a nicer copy of. So I've got 2 books here. I'm gonna get rid of The Handmaid's Tale, which I did really love when I read. Again, it was a while ago now, but it's one that's like suffered the curse of the sun-bleached spine. It's also the TV show cover, so I think I'm gonna let this edition go at any rate. And then the second one, which is a shame because I love this cover. Like, I love the like turquoise foiling, but I did not like this book. I hope this is like a good angle. Yeah, I did not like this book at all. This book was just funny. Like, this was silly. It did not hit for me, so I'm gonna let this one go. Another one, this is a YA that I read. Again, I think this is a 2020 read. The manifesto on how to be interesting. Like, it was fine. I enjoyed it at the time, I think, but I'm not gonna reread it. It hasn't really stuck with me that much. It's another victim of the sun-bleached spine. I don't really love the cover, and I don't have any of her other YA books, so I think this can go as well. I feel good about that. I know we spoke about this book earlier, but I think maybe I am just going to get rid of this. So ignore everything I said earlier. I am adding this to Unhaul. It's what we're working with now on the paperbacks. So we've got moved everything up, and we've managed to clear out a whole shelf, and there's still room on this one, so very happy with that. I'm not touching the bottom shelves because these are like author specific, so like all my Meg Cabot books, which I love, not touching. All my Philip Pullman books here. So now I'm going to go through my hardbacks, which are these 4 shelves here, and see if there's anything that I want to get rid of, and maybe move some stuff across. Well, hi Mia. Oh, that's not for you. I think I'm going to use my Christmas book policy and apply it to this. This is like a maths book by Dr. Hannah Fry and Dr. Thomas Oleron Evans, and it just goes through like the maths behind things to do with Christmas. The main thing I remember is it talks about like how to win at Monopoly. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one, and then I think I might also get rid of Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. It's just another one of these YAs that have served their purpose for me. I can't even really remember what it was about. I've probably like gotten rid of all the other John Greens that I used to own. And I think I was only holding on to this because it was a hardback, but I'm gonna let this go. I love Janice Hallett books, and I love mixed media. I think she does it well. Like, I always race through her books. They're always such a quick read for me. But I didn't think this was as good as The Appeal, because it's just a short Christmassy one. I've read it, I'm not going to read it again, but I'm going to let this one go, even though it's a Janice Hannah and I love her. I almost unhauled this like the other day, but I couldn't physically get it out of my shelf. It was packed in. How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. I read this a couple of years ago, and it was good / fine. Probably another like 3.5 star read. It's taking up valuable space. I think I'm gonna let this one go. I'm glad I read it, but okay, this book, this is like a shorter hardback, and this was kind of disappointing. I feel like this falls into the category of essentially short stories within like connected short stories in one book, so I'm gonna let this go. Okay, this one really pains me because I love Alan Rickman so much. I was so eager to get a copy of it, and it was a bit of a letdown. Like, each entry is just who he's meeting for lunch that day, what he's done there, like just like short extracts, and a lot of them are largely just quite mundane. For how much enjoyment I got out of it, I don't think it's something I necessarily want to keep hold of. But this is where we are at the moment. This is my big TBR shelf, and this massive stack which just keeps getting taller and taller. But this is the main shelf that I wanted to go through, because as you can tell by that big pile of books, it's just getting a bit out of control. My TBR is currently, I think it's 240 plus, which is a bit overwhelming. So I want to try and see if I can get that down by getting rid of books that have been on this shelf for a while. So let's see what we can get rid of. I feel like it's harder to get rid of books that I've not read, because there's a reason I bought them in the first place, and there's so much potential, you know? Whereas it's easy to get rid of a book that I've read that I didn't love, because I know I didn't love it. But some of these, there's a potential to love all of these. Maybe. I don't know whether to just try and make a bit of a maybe pile, then go away and review and like look at reviews of, and like look at the blurbs in a bit more depth. But I think I might put this on a maybe pile. Hi, baby girl. Mia. Mia! Okay, I've got a stack here, which I think I'm gonna get rid of. This is the other Bethany Rutter book. So it's YA, so this is like the summer before this person goes to university. I just don't think I'm the target audience for this anymore, now that I'm like in my 30s. There's so many more books on here that I think I'd rather read and get more from. So I'm gonna let this one go along with No Big Deal. Then this is another for the maybe pile. The Three Dahlias. I've heard so many good things about this series, but I don't know, maybe I need to do like a try a chapter thing or something with some of these. I'm gonna put this on a maybe pile. I've had this one for, again, ages and ages and ages, and I'm pretty sure I own all three in this. I think it's a trilogy and I own all three. Like, I've had it for so long now and never been inclined to pick it up. There must be a reason for that. So another for the maybe pile. And then the next one we have, I picked up again a couple of years ago, first in a trilogy. I don't really know too much about it, but I think I picked up based on a booktuber's recommendation, and I feel like that's probably, like, I don't know much about it. I probably won't miss it if I was to unhaul it. Then we have got this is What Lies Beyond the Veil by Harper L. Woods. I think this is the only one I own physically, but I'm sure I own at least two more on my Kindle. And I think it was probably just one that I saw loads on TikTok and thought I'd pick it up. But so probably another one where I maybe need to try a chapter and see if it's something that I want to continue with. And then the last one in this stack is Women Don't Know You Pretty by Florence Given. Again, I've had this for years and years, and I don't know how much of this is actually going to be new information. Okay, and then two more which I'm going to put on the maybe pile and have a look at reviews for. The first is The Giver by Lois Lowry. I think I picked this up because of the film, which I haven't seen, but is it the film that Taylor Swift was in? So I think I picked it up thinking, oh, I'd read this so I could watch the film. I'm going to have a look into reviews and plot and then make a decision, I think. And then, so this is I mentioned it before when I was talking about my copy of Jane Eyre that I had, an Unhauled. I bought this at the same time from the charity shop. This is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I've not read it. Yeah, it's one of these like awkward size paperbacks. The text inside is minuscule. I loved the BBC adaptation they did of it, which had Richard Armitage and the woman whose name I forget, but was in My Family. Loved that adaptation. Love Richard Armitage. This is probably one where I would either borrow it from the library, and if I like it, get like a nicer copy of it. I've gotten rid of all the books that I'm unhauling, and I've rejigged the shelves around, redone the alphabetization. So we've still got just this one shelf for hardbacks. I've rejigged it around a little bit, try and cram as many on as possible. I've got this one face out because I'm planning on reading it soon. But it's basically, look, as tight as I can possibly make it in there. We've got this shelf restacked, got a couple sideways because I was just trying to get at least all of the paperbacks on, and that copy of Sadie, it's like slightly taller than all these normal ones at the side. So I've done it like that because I'm hoping to maybe pick it up soon and then it will get it off the list. I've redone this shelf. That used to be just one stack and then a few across. But I've done 2 stacks to try and maximise the space there. That's the hardback shelf. And then this shelf, I feel like you can't, there's a lot of stuff blocking the way, but I think these are now slightly taller, especially that side. But I've managed to get all of the paperbacks off that stack. If you remember how tall that stack was, it's significantly lower now. So the only paperback is A Day of Fallen Night, which I'm going to start next, and soon that will be gone. And then it's just hardback. So some of these have come off because of me trying to fit other ones on, but we've got 6 hardbacks in this stack here, a paperback that I'm going to get to next week. But other than that, every single book on my physical TBR is on this shelf. Here is all the books I'm unhauling from this video. The ones at the top are from my TBR, so that's how many came off the shelf I've just showed you. Got these ones here, and then these are all the ones that I pulled off my red shelf. So I think I've done pretty well. I've exceeded my expectations. So I just need to go and finish getting the books that I want to remove from my Kindle. Then I'll be able to confirm what the new TBR number is. Coming back to you on a different day because I forgot to film the ending of this video, but I've been through my Kindle. I don't remember exactly how many I got rid of from here, but I got rid of some of the sequels where I'd gotten rid of the physical book. So like the other 2 in the Rosie trilogy, and like the sequels to the Harper Elwood's books, and then had a good clear out and got rid of like some like YA ones that have been on my Kindle for ages that I feel like I've just like aged out of now. So I had a good clear out of this, which means that my new TBR number is 226. I think when I started we were on closer to 250. So a decent unhaul, I think. Freed up a lot of space on the shelves. Nice reorganisation. Everything feels much more manageable now. We don't have a big, no more big, towering pile of books next to my TV. So just stick around for maybe some future videos. Who knows? Bye everyone.